Hello, this is The Pride and me, Alevtina Madyarova. Our new friends are people who not only work miracles daily on duty but also glorify their native country around the world, setting an example of fortitude and incredible body capabilities. Let's meet the Nomad Stunt group led by Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov. Kazakhstan stuntmen prepare for shooting for HBO and Netflix. They collaborate with Disney. They are nominated for an international award in the stunt coordination category. We see such headlines in the Kazakhstan news feed more and more often. And all this about our new friends, a group of professional stuntmen, Nomad Stunts. Nomad Stunts is a group of professional stuntsmen organized by the honored artist of Kazakhstan, Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov, in 2000. In 2003, at the invitation of the Kazakh film studio, Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov and Nomad Stunts took part in the filming of a large-scale historical film, Nomad. In the same year, Nomad Stunts took part in the filming of Sultan Baybars in Egypt, and a year later they received an invitation from the Mos Film studio to work on the creation of the Day Watch by director Timur Bekmambetov. They participated in such large-scale domestic and Hollywood films as The Expendables 2, 47 Ronin, Conan the Barbarian, Minbala, Shal, Racketeer, The Way Back, Bahubali 2, as well as popular series Marco Polo and Resurrection, Ertugrul. In 2013, the U.S. International Martial Arts Academy recognized Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov as the winner in the nomination for the popularization of sports in the cinema. This award is also called the Sports Oscar. In 2015, Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov was admitted to the HITS International Stunt Group. Thanks to this, Nomad Stunts became part of one of the world's best stunt teams. In 2017, for work on the Russian film Viking, Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov was nominated for a Taurus Prize from the World Stunt Academy. Nomination Best Action in a Foreign Film, Los Angeles, USA. The year 2019 was truly eventful for Nomad Stunts. They took part in the filming of Mulan by Disney Studios, as well as in the series for the popular streaming platforms Netflix and HBO. Now Nomad Stunts Group unites 86 stuntmen from 7 countries of the world: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Australia, and Canada. Contracts in Hollywood, many film companies in the CIS, Bollywood, Disney, Netflix, and almost all well-known movie brands of our time makes the schedule of Nomad Stunts members incredibly stressful. Making time for a meeting was truly a difficult task, but as it often happens, in order to help their people, Kazakhstanis are ready to sacrifice their free time even when it seems impossible. Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov now is going to tell us about how it all began, how a grandiose project which has conquered almost the whole world with its professionalism and high-class work has arisen. As it turned out, in the past he did not even think about a career in the film business. His life was then a circus, where he successfully performed with equestrian acrobatics numbers. Well, in general, I never thought that I would be a stuntman and that there would ever be a stunt team. I worked in a circus. Then stuntmen from Kyrgyzstan invited me to their project. I did not understand why they did it. They told me, "Now you're a stuntman. You will ride a horse." I thought, damn, they do such tricks, but I'm just riding a horse. What a stuntman am I? The decision to take part in the filming dramatically changed the life of Zhaidarbek. Doing tricks in front of cameras, the need to work in harsh conditions, is not so easy to get used to it. People often say, from the outside it seems that being a stuntman is only prestige, fame, and participation in the filmings. However, they rarely talk about the reverse side of the profession. It's a lot of work, and you often have to shoot in difficult conditions, in cold weather, in rain, and even knee-deep in mud. Doubts mixed in with the desire to try all this is difficult. Probably it will not work. But pretty quickly, Zhaidarbek realized that he had exhausted himself in the circus as an equestrian acrobat. It was necessary to move on. I didn't really like it because the circus is clean. All tricks are performed indoors, and stuntmen live in some tents, in barns in general, in difficult conditions. And I didn't understand, why do I need all this? But over time, when I already succeeded, having received bronze, silver, gold in equestrian acrobatics, I realized that I got stuck. That is, I could continue my career in the circus, be a manager, but something was missing. There was a lack of extreme sports, and there were not enough adventures that I experienced as a stuntman, and I started working with them. At that time in Kazakhstan, there was not a single truly professional team of equestrian stuntmen, and after the first test work, Zhaidarbek gathered a group of Jigit riders right in the Almaty circus. The decisive moment, which showed that he was moving in the right direction, was the arrival of the Americans who were looking for talented stuntmen for cooperation. Two American directors, one of them was Chuck Norris's son and Vladimir Orlov. For some reason, Vladimir Orlov immediately chose us, although before that, he had always worked with Kyrgyz stuntmen. He liked our discipline and that we did everything very quickly. He said that we were like American people, but they work much harder than us. We needed to learn. Now, Zhaidarbek considers the main advantage of his team to be multidisciplinary. They work not only with horses, but also fight, have fencing skills, make falls, work with fire, perform tricks, and they never lack contracts. Although, of course, it's difficult to combine everything. Different muscle groups are involved, you have to adapt to different stunt speeds, but this is a bearing fruit. At the beginning of the journey, it was impossible to even dream of such a scale. My team consists of literally 9 people. None of us were professional. We knew nothing but horse riding. I now mean that stuntmen do. We generally did not know how to do different tricks, but the Americans liked the discipline. I realized that we're doing everything right. Discipline is the foundation of stunt. First discipline, then tricks. This is where it started. In 2000, I organized a team, and in 2004, we signed our first big contract, where we worked already as stuntmen. After this meeting, serious training began. Fencing, stunts and horses, new acrobatic elements, and much more. All training took place on the site near the circus, where team members still sometimes train and rehearse production scenes. The group began to grow and gain experience. They were joined by Kyrgyz and Russian stuntmen. Zhaidarbek began to travel to the USA, learn from Hollywood experts, and also put his own tricks. Having been in America, I realized that without discipline, we will not achieve anything. Discipline is the foundation. We're usually each on his own, and everyone is trying to show himself. On the other hand, it's good, but we lack discipline and cohesion. Why am I saying that each on his own? I have met such people before, who had a star fever. That is, I'm a cool stuntman and you're worse. We don't work like that. Everyone understands who's capable of what. Everybody understands absolutely. But I do not let them stand out. I say, if you are so cool, be a man, help another to do the same trick better than you. So now we have no such problems. Unlike other professions in the creative field, there is no copyright in the production of tricks. Stuntmen from different countries consider themselves a fraternity in which there is no place for envy and rivalry. Therefore, during joint projects, they share the experience and secrets of new stunt elements. One of the fundamental factors of the success of Nomad Stunts, Zhaidarbek considers discipline. He developed his own system of rules, thanks to which the team became truly united. And all the activities, from organizing trips to working in training sessions and directly in front of cameras, are now harmonious and accurate. That is, we have almost army discipline. If you are told to get up, you should stand until I tell you to sit down. Or if someone on the side needs a toilet, then usually people start asking to go out. However, when we're working until the stunt director says that you can go to the toilet, no one leaves. If he says no, you will stay on the side. That is, thanks to this discipline, even more stringent than that of American or European stuntmen, we have reached this level. We do tricks. We do as on a par with them, and some things we do cooler and better. Of course, in some ways we are lagging behind, but thanks to this tight discipline, we went to Hollywood and Bollywood. The team leader also supports a favorable working atmosphere by personal example. I myself work the same way they do. I do not put myself above the team. I work with everyone and on equal footing. I can also hold a horse. I can replace someone in fights or bring equipment. I show with my example that we must work as a team. Then we will have no problems. Because when special people, or so to speak stars, appear in a team, problems appear simultaneously with them. Therefore, we must be like an army, so that everyone has an equal responsibility for our work. Now, the family of Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov can rightfully be called the stunt dynasty. The eldest son, Temirhan, who had been on set from an early age, while still a schoolboy, asked his father to accept him into the working team. However, knowing that this is not an easy way, the father ordered in his own way. I say, well, in a year after the army you will come to me. I will see how you work. If everything suits me, you're on the team. If not, I would not want you to disgrace me among my guys, because there are already 80 stuntmen and a lot of foreign stuntmen. I don't want to hear talks that you are in the team just because you're my son. He worked for me for a year. Now he has been at the stable for almost 2 years now, also on duty with everyone on an equal footing. He trains like everyone else. We were in India together. I watched how he works. Still, the army benefited him. It is army discipline. This is very good, because I myself was in the army and I know what it is like. Zhaidarbek's wife, Alevtina Kurguzhinova, an experienced Almaty circus artist, actress, and also stunt performer, said that this decision was not spontaneous, and since the early childhood, their son knew that military service was the duty of every man. The eldest girl in the family is already a candidate for Master of Sports in Rhythmic Gymnastics and is preparing to receive the title of Master. The younger ones also do gymnastics. Do you ever fear, and how to overcome it? Well, how do I overcome fear? Of course I can be afraid. It often happens. Well, firstly, we work out every trick very hard. That is, we know in advance what tricks will be in which scene. In a few months, preparation for this trick often begins. We study it carefully. We rehearse a lot. Well, before the trick itself, it is often scary for me. But because of my experience, as soon as I get on my horse, I start working, I concentrate as much as possible and the fear completely recedes. Rather, the opposite, I want to test myself. Since the stunt team reached the world level, work abroad and flights to other continents have become incredibly time-consuming. Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov admits that, in spite of the love to the work of his life, he would like to be with his family more often, and constantly being abroad makes it hard. Well, in recent years, I'm trying to be more at home, because in those years when I traveled a lot, I missed so many important events. For example, once I left and when I returned, my child already learned to walk. Or the next time I got home, he already went to kindergarten, then to school. And my wife often told me, someday you will come and the youngest daughter will marry. You should be at home more often. I'm sorry to miss such moments, but there's nothing to be done about it. Often I leave home for 3 to 4 months, for 6 months. Now I'm going to India. I will not be at home for 6 months. But I found a solution to this problem. Now they fly to me. We hang out, we spend time together. In such an active sports family, it's not customary to relax surfing the internet or in front of a TV screen. Often they spend time at a training base outside the city. There's a small zoo and children can play with animals, often practice in the gym, ride horses, and can participate in training with other stuntmen. By the way, training at the base is ongoing. Twice a week, the group has acrobatics classes, 3 times equestrian acrobatics, once combat training. Zhaidarbek understood the importance of intensive training back in the circus, where a 15-minute performance required daily workouts of 3 to 4 hours. Looking back, the first landmark works in his career, Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov considers the films Mongol and Nomad. It was not easy for him, because at the same time he had to lead the team, duplicate the actors, and perform tricks. When Sergei Vladimirovich Bodrov invited me to work in the film Mongol, I noticed that everything on his side was synchronized clearly and calmly. No one raised their voices, and he trusted me completely, despite the fact that this was my first great experience. The first film I worked on with my soul, calmly, without haste. There were 17 stuntmen, but we did a very good action. Thanks to the director who trusted me. He told me, work as you see fit, and I will adjust, but I will not intervene. Give me a flight of fancy. I came up with different things. The director, of course, was on my side. Sometimes he told me how to make it better, sometimes he completely agreed with me. That is, it was such a tandem of the film director and stunt directors. Best experience, simple trust. It has been more than 10 years since the release of the Mongol, but good memories have survived to this day. Now the team is working on a completely different scale. Yes, last year we had a lot of projects. There was a project in India, Gangs of the Hundistan. We traveled with Jandos Aybasov. This was the first overseas stunt story, when the actor became a stuntman. After that, I immediately left the guys and flew to Moscow to shoot the Union of Salvation. We brought horses and people there. We did a lot of tricks. The advantage of working on Western projects, Zhaidarbek sees in the fact that there is a given enough time for preparation, from which the tricks only get better. For example, during the shooting of The Expendables 2, Sylvester Stallone entrusted the entire action to the director of this block, and almost at the end of his work, said that he didn't see enough blood, and the group had to redo the whole block. And when they were preparing the 47 Ronin project with Keanu Reeves, stuntman Nurlan Altayev was given almost a month to rehearse a difficult trick, where he was pulled back from the horse. According to experts, the trick turned out to be excellent and looked very impressive in the picture. With the same Nurlan Altayev at one of the projects with Natalie Portman, the director changed fights every 2 weeks. The stuntmen admit that this was not easy, but in the end the picture only got better. One of the major domestic projects of recent times of stuntmen was the film Tomyris by Akan Satayev. The shooting took place in the Almaty region, Zharkent, Chunji, Borovoy, and Bayanol. And you know what? Despite such a high international demand, Kazakhstan always remains in the first place for our guys. Homeland is homeland, and the development of our filmmaking industry remains a task of paramount importance. In 2019, the Tomyris was released, and of course the tricks were put by our Nomad Stunts. Due to work on Tomyris, I did not go to Mulan. I planned to go in May and went by the end of August because it is a responsibility and I can't really hope for me. Moreover, this is our domestic film. We worked on it 100 times more responsible than on any other film. Almost all members of the group were involved here before filming started. The actors began training at the Nomad training camp. Here they were trained in riding, archery, possession of knives and other skills necessary for the actors of the historical film. Now the team has grown rapidly and Nomad Stunts can simultaneously work on several projects in different countries of the world. While working on Tamariz, they called me several times from Disney, saying that I had to come. I replied that I was busy, but I can send a couple of people. I sent my son and another guy. They replaced me and began to prepare horses and a small fighting game with stuntmen. During the filming of Mulan, there was one very moving story. Jason Scott Lee recognized the oldest son of Zhaidarbek, Timurkhan, although he saw him only when the boy was only 5 years old. Then he already rode well, and in Nomad he played the role of the son of Mark the Cascas. By the way, in the Mulan, Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov was engaged not only in training horses and directing stunts. Almost at the last moment, the creators of the movie decided that he was perfect for playing one of the roles. An interesting story also happened during Mulan. I was invited as a horse trainer, that is, I prepared horses for tricks. I also worked with actors and was a stuntman. After some time, I was called to production and they said that they want me to work as an actor. I say, as an actor, after all the costumes are already made, people are already rehearsing. They say no, we remove one Canadian actor and it turns out that one of the stuntmen has worked with me on Marco Polo. Suddenly, I always dreamed of working at Disney because I like stories, fairy tales, films for children in general. I really like watching cartoons. And when I was offered the role, I was so happy. I'm an actor at Disney. That's cool. As it turned out, iron discipline, a busy schedule, hours of training and daily hard work are not at all a reason to become indifferent to fairy tales. On the contrary, our friend is attracted but to magic. He loves children and good tales. Yes, I like cartoons and fairy tales. In fact, I watch a lot of cartoons. I like cartoons. I like animals. I think that people who control other people, especially in such a dangerous profession, they should be a little kinder than everyone else. That is, many guys love fights and sports. Yes, I also love sports, I play sports, but at the same time I take care of animals, I watch cartoons. Maybe this is the flip side of my personality, I don't know. Based on experience, experts note that before becoming a stuntman, you must have at least minimal skills in martial arts, boxing, or wrestling. General physical training is also very important. Another required skill is acrobatics. A person with acrobatic experience controls his body better, which means that in the future he will be able to fall correctly and do tricks. And most importantly, a person must be psychologically stable. It is imperative to follow the diet because weight control is necessary in our profession. Excess weight is dangerous, you become less hardy, so a low-carb diet is required, more proteins, physical training is also needed, general, abs, arms, legs, all this is necessary. The ability to concentrate on the trick with a detailed study. How do you have to do it all in stages? And often, even in training, we go through many tricks in slow motion. In order to know the phased implementation of this trick and immediately before the trick, you need to concentrate and work out in detail the whole trick in your head. How, when, why, what body position should be in each moment. Any accuracy in movement can cause injuries, and they are not uncommon for stuntmen. For example, Zhaidarbek had fractures in his arms, legs, ribs more than once, and also injured his back, and on set in Ireland he had a brain concussion. I was lucky I don't have serious injuries. It usually cost me bruises. Only during the filming of Kelin I injured my knee very much, and now this injury is really bothering me because I have torn my ligaments. Therefore, I can't put much weight on this leg. My knee joint is shifting. So thank God I didn't receive serious injuries. Alevtina Kurguzhinova has quite a few works in which under her belt when she duplicated famous actresses performing complex tricks. There are a lot of them. For example, Wolfhound, Nomad. I missed the Mongol because I was busy with children. Conan, 2011. There I dubbed the main character, Rachel Nichols. This is one of the most significant works. The work in the Conan was remembered not only by Alevtina but also by the audience. I had to duplicate Hollywood star Rachel Nichols. It was quite difficult because the horses were afraid of the explosion and started to run very hard, and the forest was almost impassable, narrow paths. That is, it was a rather dangerous, risky trick, but I really liked the chariot control because it is interesting, exciting, and the tricks turned out awesome. There were a lot of interesting tricks. Among stuntmen all over the world, the most prestigious and coveted award is Taurus. This is such a professional Oscar. The prize is awarded by the World Academy of Stuntmen in Los Angeles. Stuntmen themselves vote and choose winners in different categories. In 2017, Nomad Stunts were nominated for Taurus, but unfortunately they did not become winners. And I think we need to achieve this, get Taurus. Mandatory, because for us it's like an Oscar for actors. And yes, we need to change the structure a bit. I have thoughts to slightly change the very attitude of the team for work. That is, to make a kind of upgrade, because now I know that in our current system we have already achieved excellence. That is, we cannot change anything and still stay afloat. I think now we should take one step higher. However, the Stuntmen's account already has very significant and valuable awards. In 2013, the U.S. International Martial Arts Academy recognized Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov as the winner of the nomination for the popularization of sports in the cinema. This award was established by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and other actors who began with the sport. Today, it is considered a sports Oscar. I know this system. I think that from the next year we are making changes because we have a lot of foreigners. We have stuntmen from Russia, from Ukraine, Australia, Bulgaria. That is, we need a different system since we're now an international team. We're now opening branches in Azerbaijan and Turkey. Therefore, we need to take everything to a new level. There are 86 people in Nomad Stunts group, and a few years ago, there were only 60. Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov is sure that the stuntman profession cannot be replaced by new technologies. People are fed up with action, new complex elements are needed, and living people must perform them. He considers tricks in the movie without a real person to be the transition to animation. I think that we are a one-of-a-kind team because I had never encountered the stunt team opening branches anywhere else. That is, no one has ever done so, and we went further. But the system must be developed and developed correctly, because this is the first step, and we have no one to ask for clues. That is, when they ask us, why do we need Nomad in that country? I say, there must also be Nomads. Nomad teams should be everywhere, and everywhere we must be excellent stuntmen, not only in Kazakhstan. Well, again, we can see a stunning example of the fact that our compatriots are able to conquer the world. You just have to set a goal. Zhaidarbek Kurguzhinov was repeatedly called to leave for another country. Profitable offers came from the United States of America, Canada, and other states, but he preferred to stay at home, leaving it only for the time of important projects. Today, the team of Nomad Stunts has guys with a completely different background. There are former athletes, champions of major competitions, former circus artists, and just guys who have already received training in the team, but they are all people with a strong character who live for stunt art. And all of them are united by faith in their profession and in what they do. The Pride team goes on to introduce you to the successes of our compatriots. See you